and good morning to everybody out there live, 11 a.m. from the DMV. Just getting on here real quick this morning like we like to do sometimes and want to kind of talk about some fighting from yesterday, man. Jaron Boots Ennis. Impressive, impressive, impressive. I want to know what is next for Jaron Boots Ennis, or what should be next for Jaron Boots Ennis. Now, of course, we seen him yesterday. He was tested, as everyone says. And I just think that, I get it. Everyone see his age. He's young. We just went through the same thing with Virgil Ortiz. He's young, and the big question that comes up, is he ready? Is he ready? Did he pass the test? Look, man, I remember leading into this fight, all we kept saying was he will be tested. He will be tested. Now, once you pass the test and you pass with flying colors, we can't keep running around the mulberry bush and saying he needs another test. And then he needs another test. Well, let's see him tested. He's passing the eye test. I don't think Sergey Lipinets did this. I don't think he tested him in this way. You can look at it that way. Or you can look at it in a way of maybe just Jaron Ennis is just that good. And that level, well, he's past that level. And he needs harder competition. We can't keep doing this, fam. Like, I get it, 22, 23 in today's boxing is like an age that they look at and say, well, he still has more to do. Some fighters are ahead of other fighters. Some fighters, what's up, man? My man, Batman, what's up, man? John Page in the building. Salute to the DMV strong, man. Salute to you, man. And big ups to Gary Russell Jr. family. What's up with you, man? Yeah, man. Like I say, yo, like sometimes we just gotta ask ourselves, man, and say, hey, some fighters are just leaps and bounds ahead of others. And I think in Jaron Boots Ennis' case, he's been grinded. He's been putting the work in. He's seen several styles. Sergey Lipinets is a former champion. Sergey Lipinets has never been stopped. This is a first. It's not like Jaron Ennis was in there with someone who's used to getting smacked all around the ring. No. And on top of that, Jaron Ennis took the fight to Sergey Lipinets and beat him on the inside, beat him on the outside, something we've never seen happen to Sergey Lipinets. How many more tests do we need for Jaron Ennis? How many more tests? Thumbs up as you pull up, family. Thumbs up as you pull up, man. So the question is, what's next? Everyone says, yo, man, they're throwing all of the names. Of course, we're going straight to the top floor. Keith Thurman, Shawn Porter, some people, look, man. The thing is this, let's keep it 100. Jaron Ennis needs value. That's the problem. He is going to be considered high risk, low reward. And let's just use what we know about today's fight game. He will be considered high risk, low reward because he doesn't have a belt. And we just can't say how big his fan base is. I think his fan base is growing, leaps and bounds by each and every fight. But I think he needs he needs more value added to himself. So that's why I would like to see Danny Garcia versus Jaron Ennis. The battle for Philly. You know what I'm saying? I think that works for Jaron Ennis. Would it be almost probably impossible to bring Danny Garcia to the table? Probably so. You know what I'm saying? Probably so. I don't deny that. But at the end of the day, that fight in Philly, huge crowd, huge buzz. It'll be resonating all up and down the East Coast. I think that fight will be something that gives him value because it will grow his fan base even more than what it is. And it's just a big event. You know what I'm saying? He needs something to that effect. Because these fighters are going to stay away from him. Keith ain't going to see no value in fighting Jaron Ennis right now. Let's keep it 100. Even a fighter like Adrian Bronner, a guy who's not even winning like that, he's still going to look at it like, I don't see no value there. Danny Garcia, he's coming off a loss. And yes, Jaron Ennis definitely should deserve that fight. But Danny Garcia is going to look at that. I don't see no value there. So he has to get value. And given that he's on the PBC side, all right, the PBC side, there shouldn't be no reason why he can't get no value. Salute to the fam. Mike, what's up, Mike? For being in the building. You know what I'm saying? What's up with y'all, man? Did you catch Conor Ben, says William Smith. I did catch Conor Ben. I didn't get enough to look at, man. I mean, he got rid of the dude so fast. He's a work in progress, man. These are all works in progress. I think the future of the welterweight division is looking very, very bright with guys like Conor Ben, guys like Jaron Boots Ennis, guys like Virgil Ortiz. The welterweight division is looking very, very bright, man. I just don't know if they're gonna make it to the top floor in time to catch Errol and Terence and all of these dudes, man. Ain't nobody outside the top five is going to test him exactly. Um, at this point, I'm done with the testing, man. You know what I mean? I'm not an over tester. I'm just like, if people be saying that about Crawford, man. Oh, well, he moved up. I want to see how he looks against it. Look, I'm beyond test mode. You know what I mean? I want to see these dudes in real deal, same level of opposition style type fights, 50-50 style type fights. So I think Danny Garcia will be a great fight that gives him value. Now, let's go, once again, let's keep it real here. Danny Garcia more than likely won't do it. So who will be next? Realistically, I told y'all last night, I think it's going to be probably either Castillo Clayton, maybe a Hotacito Lopez. Those fights right there to me don't do much for Jaron Ennis, if anything, you know what I mean? Because the name recognition ain't there. People will perceive Hotacito Lopez as being beat. Yeah, he's a tough fighter. He pushes you to the edge, but been beat. I mean, Virgil Ortiz, y'all can forget it. Forget it. I hear people out there like, yo, Virgil Ortiz and Jaron Ennis, forget it. Those two fighters, they got to get their names much bigger. Their names are not being like searched for. You can't put them two together right now. They got to get their names up a little more higher before you can put them together. Politically, it don't line up. Keep that in mind, fight fam. Virgil Ortiz is over there on DAZN. Jaron Ennis is rocking with Showtime and PBC. Politically, it won't line up, so we're nowhere near that fight. We're nowhere near. Now, if a sanctioning body wants to get in and order it because they both ranked high in the WBO, well, that's one thing. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I don't think we're nowhere near Virgil Ortiz versus Jaron Ennis. Like I said, I think the Hotacito Lopez fight, that's a realistic situation. And maybe even a Castillo Clayton fight. That's a realistic situation because Castillo fought Sergey Lipinets also, and they went to a draw. And Castillo has no political affiliations. So that's another good opportunity. But I know the names y'all want to hear. Terence Crawford, not going to happen. Forget it. Errol Spence, forget it. Your Danis Ugas, forget it. Showtime Shawn Porter, forget it. Keith One-Time Thurman, forget it. I'm keeping it 100 with y'all. All because the mindset of these fighters looking at Jaron Ennis, he doesn't have enough value and he can possibly wreck all of their check-making potential. You know what I'm saying? Bag-making potential. Jaron wrecks that shit. You know what I mean? He wrecks it. And they don't want him nowhere near. You know what I'm saying? Let me see what the fam time out. But Sergey was broken down, damaged goods, too many wars. He had nothing left. I can't say that, bro, because Sergey had a nice amount of time off. And most importantly, I mean, Sergey on just a week's notice held Castillo Clayton at bay. I mean, he didn't get defeated by Castillo Clayton. For you to take a fight like that on a week notice, you got something left in that tank. You know what I'm saying? Now, I will say this is the most deflated I've ever seen Sergey Lipinets look. I mean, cutting a ring off, that was like the worst time I've ever, in any fight I've ever seen him, man. Cutting a ring off the way he did, that was poor, bro. His aggressiveness, his explosiveness, none of that was really there last night. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he was a little intimidated, man. You know what I'm saying? Hey, yo, Euro says, yo, Ennis is ready. I agree. You don't want to overcook, man. I think he's ready. I mean, he looking strong. He looking fast. His offense is looking very, very powerful. The only hang up, and I'm still there, like I told y'all in the build-up, man. I think that his inside fighting can use a little bit more polish. Yeah, he's thunderous. He's throwing hard shots on the inside, but he's not slipping on the inside. And he's getting touched on the inside too much for my liking. A fighter with a tremendous uppercut on the inside may give Ennis some issues because he's standing straight up on the inside and he ain't slipping. And he is kind of sort of eating punches on the inside, and he's showing to be the stronger fighter. That's just one little small tweak in his game that may come over time, but that's all I see, man. Other than that, man, this kid looking complete, man. He looking complete. Sir Ken in the building. What's up, family? Yo, man, salute to the chat, salute to the wrenches. Man, smash that like button, man. Thumbs up for me, family. Thumbs up, man. For Ben says, Virgil versus Boots might not meet until they are at middleweight. I agree with something like that. Maybe 54 middleweight. These two fighters are still developing. Their handlers are still grooming them. I mean, like I said, I think Virgil Ortiz has a whole nother trajectory now that's been laid out in front of him. I think that we know what they're going to do with Virgil Ortiz. If we're still guessing, I think we should know by this point. They're going to try to probably get him another touch sometime this year, maybe in the summertime, maybe who knows, fall. And they say they want to push for that title fight by the end of the year or 2022, which means that they're going to go through the WBO sanctioning body. We know Virgil Ortiz is rated number 2. You know what I'm saying? We know Terence Crawford, they're probably sitting back waiting on his situation and what happens in October. But I believe that's where Virgil Ortiz wants to go. I think he's going to go after Bud, or he's going to go after that WBO title in very due time. You know what I'm saying? Because he got nowhere else to go. He got nowhere else to go. Either WBO or WBC. Virgil Ortiz is not rated in 2 sanctioning bodies. He's only rated in 2. One is filled with politics, and the other one makes sense. So that's the route he's going to go. The question is, who's going to get to that title shot first, Virgil Ortiz or Jaron Ennis? It's looking like Virgil Ortiz. Virgil may not even get a title shot. I mean, Jaron Ennis might not even get a title shot. I hate to say this, fam, and this is just the facts. Unless he can get a WBA regular shot, he may not be getting a title shot, man, until it's all said and done. What's going to happen with Spence and Crawford? Ain't nothing happening until then. All of the belts are locked up, and that's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? That's unfortunate. Duan Cortez says Jaron needs a little more. I don't think so, bro. I just think he's peaking. I think he's about. Oh, I ain't gonna say he's peaking right now, but I think he's getting close to peaking. He's just looking too strong, man. He's looking, and you don't want to have him start getting lazy in the ring. You don't want him not rising to the occasion. You don't want to have him going, oh man, another C+ level fighter. Man, I ain't got to go to the gym today. Man, I ain't got to. You don't want that to start setting in. So you got to keep him active. You got to keep him hungry. And you got to keep him believing that, yeah, we're right there, man. We're right there. You know what I'm saying? We're right there. Bud never in his career has never been in a 50-50 fight. That's what they all say, bro. That's what they all say. That's easy to say afterwards, though, John Page. It's like I always say, though, Batman, that's easy as hell to say afterwards. When you got fighters going in back-to-back championship fights in other fighters' backyards, bro, and they getting the job done, but then when they meet Crawford, he wrecks them and they no more good. It's easy to say that afterwards. No one says that before. I go back to that Victor Postal time. Let's go back to that time. And I remember, man, Victor Postal supposed to have been the best thing since sliced bread. That was the Victor Postal show. No one knew how Crawford was going to approach that fight. Even if you go back and watch that fight and listen to the commentators, like everyone was like, didn't know. And then when it was afterwards, Postal get wrecked. Postal ain't proved to be nothing the same. Then it's, oh, well, he wasn't all that. But you go back to that time, bro, and it was considered 50-50. Go back to when Crawford walked into the backyard of Burns, went over there to Scotland, and how that crowd, and everyone was like, well, can he take the pressure? Is he going to be able to surpass the mental pressure? All of these people over top of him and booing him and throwing stuff at him and you know what I mean? Overcame it. Ain't an easy thing to do. Not an easy thing to do. I told you, man, like, the man did 3 weight classes. I got Danny Garcia moving up 1 class and can't win no more. I got Danny moving up 1 weight class and can't win no more. I got my man on 3 and still undefeated. I'm just saying. Sometimes moving up is just a challenge within itself. You know what I mean? Needs to promote himself more. Jaron Ennis. You could say that. You could say that. I don't know what's his promotional situation, man. I think he just one of those type of PBC fighters that is on like a fight-by-fight basis with different promoters, man. But, you know, that's the deal with that's the risk you run with PBC. We used to talk about this a lot back in the day. That's one of the risks you run with being a PBC fighter. They don't issue you a certified promoter. Like, you're not a Mayweather fighter. You're not a this fighter. So these promoters don't promote you in your downtime. They just sit around, they wait till you fight, and they just put up a bag of money and say, go fight. That's not what a promoter is supposed to do. A promoter is supposed to promote you even when you sleeping. You know what I'm saying? A promoter is supposed to promote you when you're not even around. And these PBC dudes don't have that. You know what I'm saying? They don't have that. And in Jaron Ennis' case, maybe that's the case with him. He doesn't just have a certified guy that's always constantly promoting him. You know what I mean? That's one of the pluses of having an Eddie Hearn or say like an Oscar. You know what I mean? They out here talking for you. You know, Bob rolling up, man. I don't know what Bob doing. I saw some flaws. He seems to be vulnerable to the right hand on the inside fighting, says Euro. Yeah, that's what I wanted to give people a heads up going into this fight. that Jaron Ennis, though his game is solid, his offense is one of the it's a strong offense. His only issue he and you can see clearly he's been working on it because he's getting better at it, man. It's the inside fighting and mostly slipping and dipping. You know what I'm saying? Stop standing straight up on the inside, allowing these overhand rights to come that you can see a mile away. And he gets touched just way too much on my life. I don't know if he want to make it a mono thing, like I can eat your shots, but not smart. And I think over time that will get better. You know what I'm saying? His legs clearly got better last night. His legs were very intelligent. That was an issue he's had in the past as well. His legs will slow down midway through a fight. Didn't happen last night. But then again, we only made it to the 6th round. You know what I'm saying? We only made it to the 6th round. The right hook behind the ear from Boots. Yeah, man. His style of going, that Crawford thing of going from southpaw to orthodox, southpaw to orthodox, throwing fighters into the matrix, not knowing which hand is going to have the thunder in it, man. That left hand looking just as strong as the right. The left looking just as strong as the right. You know what I mean? Hey, man, they're going to have a problem on their hands, man. They're going to have a certified problem. Crawford and Spence better hurry up and fight each other, then head north to 54 and the hell away from Boots. Yeah, can Boots be a wrecker? Could Boots wreck programs? Like we say about Crawford all the time. Can Boots wreck programs? Do Errol Spence Jr. look at a Jaron Ennis and say, which I don't think they do, but he probably look at Jaron and say, I can't let that kid near me right now. I'm trying to get 3 belts. If I let him in my world, shoot, man, all of this stuff can come crumbling down. An undisputed fight can be gone. All of my heavy lifting could be for nothing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, yeah, Jaron is that fighter, bro. He's that fighter. He's that fighter, man. He's that fighter. He's that fighter. David would be a step backwards. David would be a step backwards for Ennis. David who? David. Who am I saying missing that says David? Vic not that good to me. I don't listen to people. I got that eye test. You saying Victor Ortiz is not that good to you, fam? I mean, he still got work. And like I said, development, man. He's clearly a development. He's another one that's more so offensively sound. Still got a lot of defensive leaks. Man, look, these defensive leaks on some of these younger fighters has to get tightened up. Because once you go up on that top floor with these big punches, with these relentless punches, that little crack in defense will get exposed to be wider. And that concerns me because even in Virgil Ortiz's case, and I get it, he didn't have the greatest training camp and everything. He seemed like he was just piling on offense on a fighter that just couldn't deal with his offense. But what happens when you get to those fighters that can handle your offense and that can take the step back and get out of the way of your punches and that can eat your punches? Can you eat them back? And that's what I'm saying. These little defensive cracks will then be exposed a lot more on an elite level. So those are the just small. Virgil has the same little defensive cracks as well as Jaron Ennis. And that is on the inside. They're coming forward. They're eating punches and they're standing straight up and they're not slipping nearly as good enough. They're thunderous on the inside. They're giving out more power than the other dude. Sure. But at the end of the day, they eating shots on the inside, man. And that's just the only thing I take away that I say bad about it. You know what I'm saying? Yo, what's up, Muhammad Tola in the building? What's up to your fam? Good morning, man. Good morning. Ennis just needs rounds to sharpen his skills. He also just needs to find himself in a 12-round fight. That'll be something to see, too. We have yet to see Jaron Ennis go beyond 6 rounds. That's why I wonder what happens beyond that point. Something we just don't know. That's still unanswered question. That's still unanswered territory right there. Like I said, Lipinets is a pressure fighter, but that was not the best version of pressure that I've seen Lipinets apply. And he did look somewhat a little deflated last night, but I can't do that. I can't say that. I can't take that away from Jaron. You know what I mean? I can't take that away. And I do want to know what happens when he goes deep into these fights, but he's getting rid of these dudes, bro. Lipinets is a former world champion who's never been stopped. He got my man Lamont out of there, you know what I mean? So hey, DMV, don't get it twisted. Seeing that victory last night, oh man. Yo, salute to Jaron Boots Ennis for getting the job done and getting that revenge from my main man Lamont Peterson. You know what I'm saying? Real spill. I just thought about that, man. Yeah, man. For Ben says no. A promoter promotes events. Publicists and managers promotes their clients and fighters. Well, someone has to get on that, man. His corner, whoever it be, whoever he's aligned up with, man, they gotta make this kid a star. He clearly got the skills to pay the bills. He's giving good performances back to back. He's a certified threat. He's going to have to fight his way through the ranks, get next to a mandatory, possibly to get forced into a big fight. Usually that's the way it's going to have to come with these hungry and threatening fighters. They got to do it through the ranks. Got to do it through the ranks. Damn, man. Somebody say, yo, I don't have it right in front of me. Damn. I think it's the WBA that gives him his best opportunity. I think it's the WBA. Yo, Cashman says all of those that Crawford fought was just holding the belt for Crawford. No major tests, and still to this day, Crawford has done nothing. Damn, done nothing. You become lineal 2 times, and they say you done nothing. It's only been 4 undisputed champions in a 4-belt era, and they say you've done nothing. They say, yo, you go through 3 weight classes, and they say you've done nothing. Damn. I would hate to see if he would have done none of that, where y'all would have been putting him at. Y'all really would have said he done nothing. Damn. The crazy part is when people say that, right? When you say, yo, man, he's done nothing and he's this and he's that, and then you ask him, do you have him as a top 5 pound for pound fighter? They'll say yes. So how the hell is he a top 5 pound for pound fighter if he's done nothing? Make it make sense. When you ask most, is he top 3, top 4 pound for pound? They say yes. But then you turn around and say he's done nothing. When you ask most, is he the top, one of the top fighters, if not top 3, 4, 5 fighters in the welterweight division? You're going to say yes, but then on the other hand, say he's fought no one and done nothing. Those 2 arguments don't make sense to me. So if you say he's done nothing, that means you don't have him in your top 5 pound for pound, right? If you say he's done nothing, then that means that you don't consider him one of the top welterweight fighters, right? I would think so. Because he's done nothing. Any fighter that's done nothing, I don't rate them. I don't look at them. I don't make videos about them. But yet I see the man's name scattered across YouTube daily. But he's done nothing. But everybody can't stop talking about him. But he's done nothing. Riddle me that. That's funny. Sound like he's doing something. You know what I'm saying? Sound like he's doing something. Fact check says, yo, man, make these fights young and old. It's time to fight. Now, that's normally the normal way of doing things. Ain't that right, fact check? Like the old guard get knocked off by the young guard. But the old guard today wants to make more checks as they possibly can before they allow the young guard to come and take over. You know what I'm saying? You take a guy, or unless that young guy is a very profitable fight. Say like Miguel Cotto and say Canelo Alvarez. Miguel Cotto, he gave young Canelo that opportunity because he knew he was gonna make a big bag of money. But let Canelo Alvarez not had his fan base, and let Canelo Alvarez not been the cash cow. Miguel Cotto wouldn't even look twice in Canelo Alvarez's direction. You know what I'm saying? These older fighters today are not like the fighters of yesteryear. You know what I mean? It's like the hustlers out here in the street, man. They not the same hustlers as they was yesteryear. When I was coming up, even if you was out here skipping school or doing that, and you had dudes out here doing what they doing, they still made your ass go to school. Man, you don't get your little ass in school, smack you over the head, man, carry your ass to school. Now these youngsters out here got no kind of morals. They don't give a fuck if you going to school, if you're a dummy, whatever. You know what I'm saying? They just out for themselves. Well, it's the same way with today's OGs in boxing. Back then, it was, you know what, I'm going to get a young boy a shot, see if he can knock me off and can continue to carry boxing in the right direction. Now it's, have I made enough money yet? Hey, yo, how much we owe on that? Yo, how much I'm making my last fight? Nah, I ain't got enough yet, man. I'm not giving that young boy a shot. Hell nah. Let me go fight me a YouTuber. You know what I'm saying? That's today's attitude as opposed to yesterday's. You know what I'm saying? Real spill. Mike says, Errol Spence is built to put sneakers on boots, and don't forget it. That'd be something, man. 2 strong offensive fighters. I still think there's levels. Of course, Jaron Boots Ennis, as good as he's looking and as strong as an offensive fighter as he's looking, I'm not putting that cart before the horse, and there are levels, you know what I mean? Which Errol Spence, Terence Crawford, Keith Thurman, I'd say those 3 for me. Keith Thurman, Errol Spence, and Terence Crawford is, to me, on the highest level of welterweight. Danny Garcia, Shawn Porter, They're just a step below, you know what I mean? And then of course below them is all of the other dudes, you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, the top floor, Keith, Terence, and Earl, that right there, man, that's levels. And as good as Boots is looking, I'm not sure there, fam. I'm not sure there. You know what I'm saying? It's levels. Word of the day. I think he will have to remain active because he is not getting any big fights for a bit. Yeah. As long as those titles are all tied up and Earl's doing what he wants to do, Earl is executing Earl's plan. Earl got everybody in the world waiting on him. So to do whatever he got to do. So as long as we are sitting back all waiting on Earl, all of the belts are tied up, man. Ain't no title fights no time soon. You know what I mean? Earl trying to rack them all up, man. And I ain't mad at him. That sounds like something Crawford would say. But his Boots get that belt. Earl would tell him, you got something I want. And you know what, man? I keep the same energy on that, man. If Boots was to get the Crawford fight, bro, I wouldn't be mad at that. You know what I'm saying? If that was to happen, I really honestly wouldn't be mad. And if Boots was to lose to Crawford, I ain't mad at Boots. And I'm not mad at it at all, man. I'm trying to get rid of this mentality of if a young fighter who's looking good coming through the ranks and he takes a loss, and we just going to throw him to this. Nah, I'm not of that mentality, y'all. I'm not of that mentality. If he go in there and give Crawford a hell of a fight, maybe push Crawford to his limits, or maybe even, who knows, knock off a win. Who knows? Bro, that's what boxing is made out of, man. You know what I mean? And I would not look down on Boots or in any sort of way if he lost that fight and gave a valiant effort. Why not Boots versus Adrian Bronner? Adrian Bronner is a popularity style fighter. I think that'll be something good for Boots. Think about it. We're talking about adding value to Jaron Boots Ennis. A win over Adrian Bronner, though we know what Adrian Bronner is. Us diehards that watch the sport all the time. We know Adrian ain't, but to everyday people, the hip hop crowd, maybe they could throw it on something like Triller. Man, imagine on a Triller show, Adrian Bronner and Jaron Ennis. That's how you add value to the young man. Look, man, we know he gonna smoke. I believe he smokes everybody else on the C plus B minus level. He's smoking them all. So at this point, just getting him value is what's most important. A Philly fight with Danny Garcia, a Adrian Bronner fight on Triller, or some wild, crazy, casual like event, something to that effect. You got to get the kid some value. He's definitely sharp. But you got to make these dudes come to the table, and you got to add some value to him. He don't got a belt. You don't got a belt. Don't got a belt. You know what I'm saying? Don't got a belt. Fastest fighter at welterweight and the hardest puncher, too. I think sharp as a knife. Hardest puncher can be argued. Fastest puncher, maybe so. You might be right, bro. I seen that zip on them punches last night. Yo, that jab was fast, man. That left hand was fast, bro. That left hand was fast, man. So you might be right on that. Speediest puncher, I can see it. Most strongest, that can be argued. That's definitely argued. You know what I'm saying? That's definitely argued. When skill versus skill, it's different. Dude got to dig deep. When it's skill versus skill, it's different. He's going to have to dig deep. I agree with that, Batman. Couldn't have said that any better, man. Couldn't have said that any better, man. Hey, yo, fam, I'm going to hit you up, man. See if we can get together, maybe do something on the channel, fam. I would love to talk with you about Gary, bro. I'm looking forward to Gary's next fight. You already know, bro. I'm going to be on it like a mug. You know what I'm saying? I'm hearing Ray Vargas. So looking forward to that, bro. And we're gonna definitely take that one all the way out there. You know what I'm saying? Real spill. He's not a top pound for pound fighter to me. So you saying Crawford is not a top pound for pound fighter? That's cool. You know what I mean? That's objective, and that's your opinion. But I just think that every box that you check for pound beyond resume, because we always stop just at resume. I think all the other categories that involve with pound for pound, he checks every single box. You know what I mean? From domination to moving up and still looking just as dominant while moving up, as opposed to, say, like a lot of the welterweights over at PBC who refuse to move up. And in a lot of cases, they've moved down. Their skills are not translating to higher classes, so I don't know what they would look like as a heavyweight. I know what they look like as a welterweight. You know what I'm saying? But if you don't want to move up at least one class and show me that your skills will at least translate up to the next class, I never can consider you. And you look, and like I say, Danny Garcia, he moved up one weight class and became a totally different fighter. That ain't easy to do, bro. I always say, man, what Earl is doing is equivalent. I mean, what Terence Crawford is doing is equivalent to those welterweights up at 160 pounds. It's equivalent to those dudes. What Terence Crawford did to Jeff Horn, a rough, tough, heavy, big fighter, is equivalent to one of these dudes going up to 160 and facing a Gennady Golovkin. A rough, tough, heavier fighter. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. My man come from 35 all the way up to 47 and beat a rough, tough dude. That's the same. If one of them welterweights was to go up 2 classes to 60 and beat a lower tier champion up there, they ain't even done that, man. So I don't know what they look like outside of the welterweight division where they can come back in 150, 160 pounds on fight night and do a fight against at 147 pounds. I just don't know. You know what I mean? But I got my man moving up easy, man, on bended B's. And it's talking about going to 54 if these dudes don't get their act together. He ain't stopping. That's the definition of a pound-for-pound champion. Not a popular guy that sits at a weight class, grows for years and years and years, and overpowers guys. Nah, don't work that way. Don't work that way. You know? Give me 2 signature fights that he had. I just gave it to you. Ricky Burns, 3-division champion. 3-division, not 1, but not 2, 3. And even 1 again after he lost to Terence Crawford. That's the major accomplishment right there. And also Jeff Horn. I'll just say Jeff Horn. I ain't even gonna do the Ndongo thing. Jeff Horn, who has a bigger win at welterweight other than Jeff Horn? Who has a bigger win? Jeff beat Manny Pacquiao. Does any welterweight out there win than Jeff Horn? Riddle me that. Riddle me that. Riddle me that. Batman, why do fighters gotta reach down 2 weight classes in order to bring up opponents to get kudos from? Would you be cool with Terence Crawford once again fighting a Devin Haney? The same way that Errol Spence fought Mikey Garcia. So would you be cool with that? Would you give him the same kudos that everybody gave Earl for beating up on Lil Mike? Would you give the same amount of credit? Or would you say he beating up on smaller fighters? Would you say that? Riddle me that. Because Crawford's never done nothing like that, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on. Come on. When is Shawn Porter going to move up to 154 pounds, bro? You know what I'm saying? Shawn Porter started out at 155, came down in weight, and never went back up since. That don't make no sense. You know what I mean? Challenges is what makes a fighter. When a fighter challenges themselves is what makes pound for pound argument to me more believable. Not just sitting in a weight class, growing and beating up on fighters that were already beat. You know what I mean? Like, I get you. I get you. Boots is ready, say KP from KC5. Absolutely. You say he's right. I think, like I said, I'm not for the over testing, man. I mean, I'm not for keep sending them through the test cycles constant. I mean, back in the day, these fighters were hitting their primes by 22, 23 years old. They wasn't always work in progresses. There wasn't always developments. You know what I mean? Oh, he's 22, 23. He ain't ready. The automatic mindset of today's fight fan is when you see a fighter in their lower 20s and they coming through, the automatic mindset is I need to continue to see him tested. That ain't always got to be the mindset, fam. Sometimes it can be like, you know what? It's his time. I mean, shit, Mike Tyson won the world championship at what, 18, 19? I mean, you know what I mean? That it happens, man. You know what I mean? Sometimes you start off, you bloom a little younger than others. Mike says, so you saying that Crawford has all of those accomplishments against low-level fighters? That's what we saying. Nothing about. I don't consider them low-level fighters. That's what you're saying. I don't consider Ricky Burns a low-level fighter because a low-level fighter doesn't become champion in 3 separate weight classes. I don't consider Julius Ndongo a lower-level fighter because you don't go into the backyard and get 2 back-to-back championship fights. What I do believe is these dudes have their best wins and they're riding high, and then they run into an opponent that changes everything about them after he puts a beat down on them, after he stops them and breaks them totally down. They lose something. The punch resistance starts to go down. They start to doubt themselves a little more. These things start setting in on a fighter after he takes a dramatic loss. And that means that their fighter is now being wrecked. And I believe that Terence Crawford just wrecked these fighters. That's why y'all don't consider them top nothing, because he wrecks them before they have a chance to continue to do what they were doing. Jeff Horn was the best fighter in the world prior to Terence Crawford. I mean, the best fighter in the world, beating Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? Julius Ndongo was looking unstoppable prior to Terence Crawford. I mean, just taking on back-to-back championships like nothing. You know what I mean? I mean, unstoppable. You and Yorkis Gamboa, though I don't never go to that fight. I never use that fight because I consider that one of Crawford's worst. But still, even in that fight, total, I mean, prior to that, Gamboa was riding high. He was riding a hype train. Victor Postal. That was the Victor Postal show. Psh, they get wrecked. They no more the same. And then there's everybody, well, he wasn't much to begin with. You know, he wasn't this, he wasn't that. Yeah, I got Adrian Bronner getting the hell out of the way of Ricky Burns back in the day. Y'all don't even remember that. Silver Salamo says Pac-Man. Silver Salamo, I never include the legend. I don't speak on the legend like that. He's from a different era. This is not even his era. So whatever the legend wants to do, let the legend do. I try not to disrespect Manny Pacquiao as much as possible. And that's because, man, sometimes you just got to draw lines and you got to show respect when respect is due. So it's whatever Pacquiao wants to do. You know what I'm saying? Simple as that. You know what I mean? Ennis versus Thurman. Ennis versus Thurman and Porter is a great step up for him. I like those fights, but I'm being realistic about it, man, and I don't see neither one of them dudes doing it. Shawn Porter's he has the WBC Silver Championship. You think he's going to lose his possible mandatory spot to Errol Spence Jr. messing with Jaron Ennis? Absolutely not. Danny Garcia wants checks and he wants money. I don't know if Jaron Ennis would command such a big enough check, and the same way with Keith Thurman. Sitting out the ring almost 2 years. If you think he's going to take a hungry, starving Jaron Ennis as his first fight back, we are just fooling ourselves, fam. I want us to get out of this hyping ourselves up mode and start approaching these situations realistically, man. That hurts the sport when we hype it up and these things don't come to fruition. I see a possible Josecito Lopez fight. I see a possible Castillo Clayton fight because of the WBO. And I see Castillo Clayton, Josecito Lopez, and anything else beyond that is all question marks, bro. Just because of how threatening Jaron Boots Ennis is looking. Shorty looking threatening as a mug. You know what I'm saying? He looking too threatening. Let me see. AB will get beat up bad. He won't let his hands go anymore. Yeah, but you know, the purpose is that I injected Adrian Bronner was not from a skill point of view. It was to give him some value. It's to at least let people talk about him, to have people constantly say, yo, we know who this kid is, forcing his fan base to grow bigger, forcing some of these fights to the table. That's the only way that these fighters talk nowadays. How much is he sell? How big of a draw? How much money can I make with him? You know what I mean? Unless he's just going to wait for the sanctioning bodies, and you don't want to wait that long. You're talking years at that point. If he going to wait on the WBC or the WBO or any of these, man, nah, that ain't gonna happen, Slim. And Jaron got to start, man, being in the mix, man. Like, we don't see him at none of these fights like that. Step to these dudes, man. You know what I'm saying? Show some Main Street. You know what I mean? I get it. He's a kid. He's a kind of a kid, and he's trying to be humble about it. But show some Main Street, bro. Call these dudes out. You know, start naming names, man. Start approaching these cats at fights. Those who want to talk. You know, not the ones that are on date night. Not the ones that when you go to their fights and they say, I'm not talking to nobody, and make sure that there's security guards on both ends of the aisles. Not those kind of fights. I mean, the people that actually want to talk. You know what I'm saying? Go to those fights and see if you can get some confrontations. Get things stirred up, man. This is just the boxing climate that we live in. And I know a lot of fight fans, especially my old school fight fans, they don't get it. They don't understand it. They don't like it. But unfortunately, which was something I was forced to accept, that's just the way we is in the fight game. It's about popularity. A popular fighter can probably get a chance more than a deserving fighter. You know what I'm saying? And it's unfortunate. You know what I mean? It's unfortunate. A Keith Thurman fight will also serve him well. Now, let's say, man, stylistically, let's just look at these fights for a minute, because we just Xing them off and like forget about it. Let's just talk about this for a second. Now, the offense of Jaron Ennis versus Keith Thurman. Keith is going to move. Keith is going to look the pot shot Jaron Ennis, I believe, from the outside while moving. Keith is not going to tussle with I don't think the explosiveness of Ennis on the inside. Now, Keith don't like it on the inside himself. And I think Jaron would take that into a fight and look to maybe try to get to the inside on Keith, but Keith is going to move. My question is, how long will Jaron Ennis be able to move with Keith? Keith, we talking beyond the 6. We don't know what Ennis looks like. Keith is a moving, mobile fighter. We know Keith like to get rounds in the bank early, throw them in the bank, and then in the second half of the fight, become extremely mobile. You know what I mean? How would Jaron Ennis approach that style? A front runner that once he gets about 5 to 6 to maybe 7 in the bank, well, he moving for the rest of that fight. He moving and pot shotting you for the rest of that fight. That's how I think Keith will carry Jaron Ennis. You know what I mean? But Jaron is going to be strong and be right there ready to answer Keith every time he kind of leaps in. It'll be interesting, bro. It'll be interesting. My answer, my only question, the second half of that fight, I know Keith will be mobile. I don't know how that plays out down the stretch right there. Because I don't know what Jaron Ennis looking like in these championship rounds, especially after somebody put a lot of work with him. Now, Jaron versus Errol. 2 straight up dogs, man. 2 straight up dogs. 2 just dirty, grungy, fighting mano-a-mano. I'm going to break a rib, have you crapping blood. Just dogs, man. You know what I'm saying? God damn. That fight right there may make the clouds shake, fam. I just see a straight confrontation in the middle of the ring. I see Jaron Ennis on the back foot, though, with Errol. I see him on the back foot with Errol, man. Errol with that left hand, with that length, just as long as Ennis, man. I see him working his jab, going downstairs on Ennis, and I see Ennis trying to move on the back foot and box with Errol. I don't know if he goes mano-a-mano with Spence. I think he tries it. I don't know how much is he successful at it. That's just the question mark. I don't know. Woo, that'll be a freaking fight right there, bro. Neither man I don't see backing down. I just see Jaron Ennis trying to box with Errol and not too much stay on the inside with him. But man, that fight right there that'll be a treat for us fight fans right there. Jaron Ennis and Terence Crawford. 2 dogs again. Lord have mercy. I honestly see on the front end, I see Jaron Ennis having some success on Bud on the front end. First couple rounds, 2-3 rounds. I think it's a typical download, process, execute thing with Terence Crawford. I think that Terence Crawford gets a window on the inside fighting. I think the fact that Jaron Ennis does not slip and dip very well on the inside may hurt him against Terence Crawford, who is a strong, powerful inside fighter and puncher. That'll be the big question mark right there. Will he be able to take the inside fighting of a Bud Crawford, who hits very hard on the inside, man? And will he be able to slip and dip? Bud gets touched on the inside sometimes too, but I just think that I've seen Bud being just as strong as a fighter as Jaron. Woo! Damn. Stylistically throwing that around in my head, fam. Woo! Both men gonna get touched real good, man. I just think Crawford is just a slightly stronger fighter, and he'll be better on the inside, bro. But damn, these are not like leaps and bounds degrees of separation I'm giving these fighters over Jaron, man. Shawn Porter and Jaron Ennis. Shawn Porter coming in, I think he'll turn into the boxer. I think he'll be forced to turn into the boxer. I don't think he'll be strong enough to steamroll Jaron Ennis. I think Jaron Ennis will have to be first consistently against Porter to keep him inaccurate and to keep Porter swinging wild and crazy. He will have to consistently be first, consistently to keep Porter from, keeping him from tightening up. But he will have to stay on top of Shawn Porter to get him to swing wild and crazy. And I think he got a damn good chance against Shawn Porter, man, to be honest with you. I'm honestly, against Shawn Porter, that's very 50-50 for me. Very 50-50 for me. Now, Jaron Ennis and Danny Garcia, I'm leaning towards Jaron Ennis. I'm going to tell y'all straight like that. I'm leaning towards Jaron Ennis straight off the back over top of Danny Garcia. I think Danny Garcia will get caught in the lights. I think his blueprint is just too well known at this point. Switch up game. We all know if you box Danny, then you turn around and you brawl Danny. Danny gets thrown off. Danny don't know what the hell. I think Jaron Ennis will do that beautifully. I think he'll be too explosive for Danny, and I think he beats Danny Garcia in front of Philly. I favor Jaron Boots Ennis over Danny Garcia. I favor him slightly over Shawn Porter, but I still think that's a close fight, but I still slightly favor him over Porter. But as for Terence and Errol, Not yet. I can't say I'm favoring him over neither one of them. But Danny and Shawn, yeah, I give them damn good chances. Damn good chances. You know what I'm saying? Damn good chances, man. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Much love to the fam coming through, man. Much love, y'all. Much love. Mike says, yo, man, let me see Earl is collecting belts from one champion at a time. That's putting in work. Last time I heard word on the street. Yeah, he putting in one champion at a time. It's just that he putting other champions before others. I get it. Making Terence Crawford the last stop. We totally understand, you know. That became an issue. You know what I mean? That wasn't always the deal, you know. It could have, like I told y'all before, he could have took the fight on the voluntary before he went and fought Lil Mike. There wasn't no belt involved in that. What excuses was for that? You know what I mean? We wasn't even talking about undisputed. We wasn't talking about belts. We wasn't talking about Jack. Earl was on a voluntary defense. He could have fought anybody he wanted. Terence Crawford made sure to make his presence known to say, hey, I'm right here, and here go my promoter. We can do it right now. And you decide to go on a voluntary and fight a small 135 pounder. There was more than enough space and opportunity, Mike, and you know it. You know what I'm saying? More than enough. More than enough. Jeff Robb Pacquiao, allegedly. Tell that to the WBO who rescored it twice. You know what I'm saying? Allegedly. Salute to the fam. Salute to the fam. Batman said, yo, Gurry once, he didn't finish that off. They robbed Pac with that Jeff Horn joint. Yeah, I feel you, fam, but like I say, the WBO rescored it twice. They didn't give it to him. I went back and watched it. I didn't never gave that fight to Jeff Horn. I thought Jeff Horn Manny Pacquiao had like 1-2 good rounds, bro. He almost stopped Horn in one round. Cool, but for the most part, he was bullying Pacquiao. And Pacquiao totally underestimated Jeff Horn. You go back to the buildup of that fight. Pacquiao's mind was in one place. His body was in another place. He was at the press conferences on his phone, just texting and tweeting and tending to other business. He wasn't even there, bro. He wasn't even there. He thought it was a shoe-in. He thought he had it locked in, and he went in there and he got bullied. And everybody thought that Crawford, who was coming up in weight, was going to be bullied by this big Jeff Horn dude who comes into the ring at 160 to 170 plus pounds. He fights dirty, throws low blows, and everybody thought that Lil Crawford wasn't going to be able to stand up to that big-ass Debo. And what happened, fam? What happened? He bullied the bully. Manny Pacquiao couldn't do that. And he ran away from the rematch all day. And he ran away from Bob Arum to make sure that the rematch don't happen all day. You know what I'm saying? That's what he do. That's what he do. Salute to my homie Fred Robinson in the super chat. Much love and thank you for your support, family. Thank you, man. Crawford could have fought champs and made the Earl fight happen quicker, but he hasn't. I guess you're saying he hasn't. He could have fought champs and made the Earl fight quicker. Name one champ that he could have fought. Who? What champ could he fought, bro? Let's see. When he got there, he got to the WBO. Keith had the belts. He went straight to Keith. He didn't even hesitate, bro. He didn't talk about no one else but Keith. You know what I mean? Keith had the belt. He was number one. He went straight to Keith. Keith said the WB no. Keith said the WB no. That was his phrase. After they told him to get a belt, right? Keith ain't want to have nothing to do with Earl or Terence. So we gonna make it like Keith wanted to fight? What champions you talking about? Showtime Shawn Porter, when he got the WBC belt, he said he was doing the WBC's business. He was following lockstep with the WBC. Every single mandatory. Oh, he didn't give him no back talk. He didn't give him no pushback. He says, WBC, whatever you want me to do, I'll do. Right? Errol Spence Jr. get in the ring on Shawn Porter, and what Shawn says, I'm not fighting you, Earl, because the WBC lining me up with two other fighters. Shawn ain't won it. Shawn ain't won it. He don't got a belt, and now he acting like he won it, even though he won't accept the same purse that he accepted against Earl. So what champions we talking about? Danny Garcia, who won the WBC title by beating weak-ass Robert Guerrero. Did Danny win it? Because he was rated number one in the WBO, and he didn't even so much as whisper the words Terence Crawford, and he was there for quite some time. Danny turned down $3 million, never got offered $3 million up until that point in his career by no one, but he didn't even accept. Which champions are you talking about, my friend? Which ones did he have a chance against? Because the one chance that he got against a champion, he took it with no questions asked and got rid of him. And he's still riding an 8-fight, 9-fight knockout streak somewhere up in there. I'm just lost on what champion you talking about. You talking about like the WBA regular champion or something like that? I mean, I don't know who you talking about. I hear you, bro. All I know is he's already been lineal, he's already been undisputed, and they got to get like Bud. All they are is a bunch of unified one division champions. Miss me with that. You know what I'm saying? Miss me with that. You know what I mean? Y'all don't like to keep it real about this stuff, bro. It's easy to just throw a little crap out there about Bud, wherever you hear from, where you hear. Let's drill down and let the rubber meet the road. There's not one PBC welterweight that's never been offered an offer. All of them have. And that's just facts. You know what I'm saying? And those are just facts. Even Errol, you know what I mean? Errol got offered an offer in person. That's the difference between Errol and the rest of them. Poor Terence Crawford went on social media and offered to most of them. But in Errol, he offered it to his face. He offered it to his face. Errol says, no. I'm going to fight Lil Mike. I'm going to do my plan. Errol says, I'm taking the easy road. We all thought the easy road meant business. We all thought the easy road meant it's easy to make a fight with these guys. We didn't know that the easy road meant Lil Mike. Damn. You know what I'm saying? That was the easy road. That's the same thing of Terence Crawford fighting Devin Haney. Get the hell out of here, man. You know what I'm saying? Come on, family. What's up, Mr. Shelton? What's going on? Come on, man. That's not completely true, brother. Where am I going wrong, Mr. Shelton? You know, I always say, man, anybody who say I'm going wrong, tell me where I'm going wrong. Tell me where I'm going wrong. All I can tell you is, and it's always funny how this always evolved into a Bud thing, but all I can tell y'all is the man offered everybody a fight. He's approached these dudes at their fight. I got one guy saying I will never go to his fight. I got one guy says, what is he doing here? I've never heard that in sport of boxing. I've been watching boxing since I was 5 years old. Never heard one fighter say, what is he doing here? Never heard that. What is he doing here? You know what I mean? I would never go to his fights. The man ain't got to do nothing. It's nothing else for him to do, champ. It's nothing for him to do. I don't know what y'all want, man. I mean, we could have had the fight if they would have just took it when he was on a voluntary. That's just the facts. Spence does not want nothing to do with Bud nor Ennis. He is a fraud. I mean, he got a plan. I ain't gonna say you're a fraud. I ain't gonna say that, you know. And that's the thing with Spence Nation, man. They always think I'm dumping on the kid. I hold him to the same standards I hold every single fighter. That's just the facts. The fact is that he got a plan. You know, they all develop plans once they become champion on that side of the tracks. They all do. They all, once they get a belt in their hand, them PBC welterweights, once they get a belt, they go on their own program. Shawn got a belt and went on his own program. I ain't fighting nobody. I'm doing the WBC's business. Earl get a belt and he picks up where Keith left off. Oh, I'm only fighting who I want to fight. You know what I mean? Danny get a belt. I don't have nothing to do with Crawford. I want big money fights. So they all do it. If I sit here and say it's just Earl, I'll be lying through my teeth. You know what I'm saying? They all do it. And it's just the PBC way. You know what I mean? And let's just call it for what it is. We can play stupid. We can play stupid, but if we see it over and over and over again, that means it's becoming a pattern. So we can play stupid. Oh, nah, man, Crawford just don't want to fight them. But I see the same moves from Keith, Shawn, Earl, and Danny for the most part. I see the same moves being made by all four, but it's Crawford's problem. I know deep down inside, y'all know I'm telling the truth. Y'all know what it is. You know what I'm saying? Deep down inside, y'all saying, you know what, he's right. He's damn right. I can't even think of when the last time one of the welterweights from PBC called Crawford out. You know what? I get a lot of people come through this say, well, won't Crawford do this and call them out and do that? When are they gonna call him out? Do any of y'all in the comment section? Do y'all see any? I mean, I see what Shawn talking about, but I don't know if Shawn's scheming. When they gonna call him out? When is somebody gonna say I definitely want to fight outside of Jaron Boots Ennis? You know what I mean? Because I only got Jaron Boots Ennis saying that he definitely wants it and he'll take it. He the only one that I really believe. He's the only one at the welterweight division. Him, Custio Clayton, and Virgil. I kind of believe Virgil. I just think his handle is kind of holding him back. Him, Custio Clayton, and Virgil, I kind of believe. The rest of them, hell nah. I don't believe nothing that coming out of their mouth. You know what I'm saying? And that's just the facts. They all know because they all playing the same damn program. They all trying to get rich quick. My kid can't eat belts. You know what I'm saying? Ennis is on the wrong block, not the wrong side of the street. Earl will say that the next not the same block. You know what's crazy about that, fam? That's funny you say that, man, because we always speak on like if Terence goes over there, how the fight gonna be made, and it should be a slam dunk. Everybody sit back like he need to go to PBC and this, that, and the third. Look at Ennis. Ennis is a certified threat. They won't go near that kid. They won't go near that kid with a 10-foot pole. You don't think Crawford would be in that same position? That's why I say if he goes there, yo, he got to get it in writing. You feel me, fam? Fred Robinson back in the super chat. Much love, family. Thank you so much for your support, man. Much love. He says, yo, you see Errol doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Thurman is calling for Bud and Porter, exactly who Bud should be fighting. You see Errol doing exactly what he said he was going to do. Thurman is calling for Bud and Porter, exactly who Bud should be fighting. Thurman is calling for, so we're believers in Keith Thurman now? Is that what it is? So, Fred, as a boxing fan, and this is what I'm going to ask you, Fred, do you believe that Keith Thurman, after being out of the ring for 2 years, coming off of a loss, will get into the ring with Terence Crawford? Do you honestly believe that? Or you don't agree? Salute to my brother D-Lo 44 Boxing in the building. Everybody go check out my brother, man. He laying it down all day, man. Salute to him. Salute to him. Yo, but ask yourself that, Fred. Do you believe that as a boxing fan? That Keith Thurman would do that? You know that Keith won't do that. You know that Keith won't do that. So why would you say that Crawford is avoiding Keith Thurman when you know that the first fighter at the weight class that Crawford approached after his win against Jeff Horn in the post-fight interview was Keith Thurman? You know that was the first fighter he called out. You know that Keith Thurman dubbed Terence Crawford's title as the WB No. This is Keith. But you think that it's Terrence's fault for avoiding someone that says, I don't want to fight you for your belt. For avoiding someone that avoided Errol Spence Jr. and as well as Terence Crawford. Ain't one had nothing to do, but it's Crawford's fault. How? How do you get that conclusion, fam? You know what I'm saying? Oh, you say Shawn Porter. Shawn Porter said on record, clear as day, that even during the world being crazy, no crowds, no nothing, I'm still not even going to accept what I accepted against Errol Spence Jr. with a crowd. And you think that it's Crawford that's ducking. How? Where do y'all get this stuff? How is it? All that man doing is chilling and saying anybody who want to step up, then step up. Give Bob a call. I'm just sitting back waiting on the name. But we all say it's Crawford's fault. Fred, man, I would love to see how you would act if Crawford would have fought Devin Haney. Damn. Call Keith's bluff then. Call Porter's bluff. Call Boots' bluff. Call Ortiz's bluff. Do something. When you're number one pound for pound, you can't duck because you're already on top. You know what I'm saying? When you're number one pound for pound, two-time lineal, they got to get like him, bro. Where y'all get this notion that Crawford got to chase these dudes? I don't know where y'all coming from with that. There's a reason why Terence Crawford secured a high guarantee for his contract. Because he don't have to do this stupid shit no more. He don't have to do what they do. He don't have to run behind people. He don't have to chase people. Because whether you're down or not, I'm still going to make a good check. I just want your spot, but you won't want to engage, so screw it. I'm not going to keep flying all across the country using my frequent flying miles, you know what I'm saying, and doing all that, and y'all don't want to fight. I don't understand what y'all, man, I don't get it, bro. I don't get it. Hey, man, Fred back in that super chat, man. Much love, fam. Much love. Don't get it twisted. I'm not calling Bud a duck. I'm saying that he needs to do more than the names that he is dropping to get the Earl fight over the line. Now, when he engages, they say, what is he doing here? When he calls these dudes out, they say, well, he's doing this and he really don't want to fight. But then when he falls back and allow Earl to go and get another belt, he don't want to fight. When he says that I'm thinking about going to 154 to go maybe face a Patrick Teixeira, the whole world says, nah, that's not a smart idea. That's not a good thing. You won't get nothing from that. You know what I'm saying? So all Bud need to do, given that his accolades are so high And he's already checked all of the boxes that they haven't checked. At this point, all he got to do is chill, bro, because you know why? And I know people don't like to hear this, but all roads at this point lead to Terence Crawford. Lest these dudes want to be almost undisputed. Lest they want to be viewed as cowards and not going for an undisputed fight when the opportunity arises. They all going to look like cowards, bro. They all got to get like Bud. You know what I'm saying? Jaron Boots Ennis, though, man. Jaron Boots Ennis is one of those dudes who I think that truly who would take the fight off it. But at the end of the day, he's nowhere near. You know what I'm saying? He's nowhere near. He's nowhere near. Then, I mean, his handlers are nowhere near for making that fight. For Ben says, my mama used to tell me everybody else can't be wrong and you the only one right. Can't be. I can't believe Keith's name is even being brought up versus Terence Crawford. The way Keith played it, bro, like Keith just totally ignored Crawford all around, totally ignored him, named his title the WB No, come back 2-3 years later without no belts, no nothing to offer, and saying, give me $10 million when the world is upside down. But y'all got to mention Keith. It don't add up. You see what I mean? None of this stuff never adds up, man. It's just that what it is, fam. Like I told y'all, I don't even say the word Bud haters no more. I've retired that term. It's Bud critics. I've come to the conclusion that all of us are fans. It's just that y'all really, really want to just see the man fight. You know what I mean? We're all fans at the end of the day. No matter how many videos that go against them, and everyone looks at every single move he makes. We're all fans at the end of the day. And I've already said that, you know what I mean? Fred, back in that super chat one more again. Man, much love, fam. You saying giving Khan $7 million was better than paying Porter. That is not what I'm saying. Never been on that train, fam. I thought the Khan debacle was just that. An Amir Khan debacle. I thought that Bob Arum misjudged and had bad aim on that fight. I think he looked at the Canelo Alvarez fight, the fight that was prior to Khan's fight with Crawford, and seen that they just did, certain amount of numbers on pay-per-view. And he might have figured, since Khan had a country and a network on top of that, just was put in front of pay-per-view with Canelo Alvarez, and maybe he could have got something from that. I guess he figured, why not to give him more money? But you also got to remember, Khan bought a network with him, man. Like, Khan got what he sold in his country. So if y'all want these other fighters to supposedly get more money, then how about they become more popular other than their blocks? How about they got a country? How about they get a country? How about they bring a network to the table? They bringing jack shit to the table. I got Shawn Porter barely bringing nothing to the table. He's bringing nothing to the table. What is he bringing? No one. Errol Spence said it best. You are a man with no land. A man with no land. What the hell is he bringing to the table to the number one pound for pound fighter? At least in Khan's case, he bought a country, a network, and then he bought something. These fighters ain't bringing jack crap. And that's just the facts of the matter. I'm not saying that was the right move to get Khan that much money, because clearly that's the number one, critique point. Well, why would he gave Khan? How about the fact that we look at it this way, though, Fred? Danny got offered the highest purse up until that point, never seen $3 million. Guaranteed. Never seen $3 million. Never. Didn't even want to engage. You know what I mean? We could talk, these dudes they come over to Crawford and they want their net worths. Why? Why does Pacquiao want $40 million? Why does Keith want 10? Why won't Shawn Porter accept what he accepted against Errol? Why all of this crazy shit when it comes to Bud? No one don't want to answer that question, because there is no answers. It's, he should just do it. The brother should just do what they tell him to do. Even though he's the one that did he didn't do no heavy lifting by going through 3 weight classes, but the brother should do what they tell him to do. For what? All roads. All of you almost undisputed. All of you one division unified champions. You got to get like him, bro. You know what I'm saying? Get like him. He brings more than Amir Khan. The numbers say so. So you think that? I don't know that. I've never known Shawn Porter to be a seller. Have you? His numbers with Errol Spence were okay. Y'all got this notion that these numbers are off the hook. No, they not. They were okay. They were decent. You know what I'm saying? Am I gonna crap on them? No. But am I gonna jump out the freaking roof? Hell nah. Shawn Porter's numbers with Earl were aight. You know what I'm saying? Aight. Y'all get this thing like he is a big seller. That Crawford gotta kiss the ground that Shawn Porter walks on. Hell nah. I reject that notion. I reject that notion. Shawn Porter is below Terence Crawford. Crawford does not have to bend over backwards for no freaking Shawn Porter. I didn't see one PBC welterweight doing that. Hell nah. The hell Shawn Porter bringing to the table like that anyway? You know what I'm saying? For real. Why he ain't fight Terence Crawford when he had a belt? Why is everything got to be about Porter now that he's beltless and coming off a 4 win? And he technically lost against your Danish Ugas. But everybody is clapping for Shawn Porter. What y'all doing, trying to be slick, is keep giving Earl more time. Yo, he running out of time. Y'all ain't gonna keep on coming around with these different names. Well, next thing you know, it's gonna be, because y'all even had the notion, I even had a couple of y'all. He's avoiding Josecito Lopez, Mainman Mademan. He's avoiding Josecito Lopez. He don't want that Josecito smoke. Man, get the hell out of here, man. He don't want that Josecito smoke. I'm like, man, anybody y'all can come up with, right? Y'all, Spence Nation, y'all think you're slick. What you're doing is sitting back. Oh, we gonna keep building him as a star. We gotta keep him busy. Let's let nobody come into his little zone. The second that you see the name Keith Thurman and you see too many articles about Keith Thurman, it's fuck Keith Thurman. He ain't this, he ain't that. You know why you do that? Because you want people to forget. I ain't gonna forget. And I'm gonna be right here, keep reminding people. Earl ain't done nothing that Keith ain't done. He fighting Keith leftovers. These dudes haven't beat Keith. This era, there's never defeated Keith. Manny Pacquiao beat Keith. These dudes, what's funny to me, these dudes, Keith lose to Manny, and they acting like they beat Keith. Y'all ain't peeping that shit? Or am I the only one peeping it? They acting like listening to how Shawn talking and how Earl is talking, and even Danny for them, they talking like they already beat Keith. They didn't beat Keith. Keith threw them a bone. Y'all tend to forget that Keith vacated his belt. He said, "Yo, I'm injured," or whatever the stupid excuse he gave. I got bone injuries of the bone, bruises of the bone, or bone spurs and spurs of the bone. I don't know, but the fact still remains is, yo, Keith ain't been beat, and I'm not giving none of them dudes no credit. I'm not giving none of them no credit over Keith Thurman until you beat him. I'm sick and tired of this easy hookup shit. It's avoid Keith Thurman and everybody gonna go against Keith Thurman. It's avoid Terence Crawford and now everyone gonna go against Terence Crawford. Hell nah. Hell nah. I don't go like that. They try to do the same thing to my main man Gary. No. I root for duck fighters. You're not gonna avoid a fighter and just because we in a social media era, try to paint him in a funhouse mirror image. Nah, we don't do that. I'm calling it for what it is. And Earl ain't done shit that Keith ain't done. And they avoiding Keith. Keith is back on the scene now, and he calling all of their names. Ain't none of these dudes beat Keith. You know what I'm saying? Ain't none of these dudes beat Keith. Fred back in that super chat showing major love today, man. I'm just a Bob Arum critic. Peep the link I dropped, and you will see that I'm on with Bud. Facts. Okay, Fred. Okay, appreciate you. And I've definitely checked the link out, man. Look, man, all the love you show today, man. I really appreciate it, man. You know what I'm saying? I really do, man. So I'll definitely do that, fam. I'll definitely do that. You know what I'm saying? Napoleon says, man, I've been peeped the BS. We know what it is, Napoleon. You know, we keep it a Billy over here, son. We keep it a Billy. You know what I mean? Pacquiao fans threw a national holiday when he defeated Thurman. And then even in that case, man, and that was just, to me, Thurman not only slipping, but just kind of like overlooking the situation. You know what I'm saying? Overlooking the situation and did the same thing that Pacquiao did. And that was totally underestimate Pacquiao, man. And that was on Keith. But that don't take away from the fact that Keith ain't been beat by Earl. And that don't take away from the fact that Keith ain't been beat by Shawn or Danny. You know, we're not going to turn these fighters into Shang Tsung. They just automatically turn into Keith without beating them. Nah, we're not doing that, champ. We got to beat Keith. And Keith is still in the mix. He can go over there to Bud. All he got to do is act like he got some sense. But I don't see Keith doing it. I'm realistic about That's right, Mr. Shelton. And you take that back over there to Spence Nation. You tell him everything that I said. And guess what, fam bam? I ain't done with this. You know what I mean? We are sitting back watching and waiting. We better be getting your Danish Ugas next for your boy Earl. Ain't no more waiting out this joint, dog. If I hear something about your Danish Ugas going to fight Josecito Lopez while we continue to wait for Earl, oh my goodness. You dig? Oh my goodness. Much love to Mr. Shelton, man. Much love to the fam. You know what I'm saying? Much love to the fam. That's right. Take your shit back. You know what I'm saying? Take it back. You know what I mean? No, Spence time is up. We'll see. We'll see, bro. All I know is at this point is at the end of the day, rubber got to start meeting the road. I'm not buying the Keith excuses. I miss me with the tit for tat, little ass schoolgirl shit. Oh, he didn't fight me, so I'm not fighting him. This is the softest shit I've ever heard in boxing. I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? So hopefully some rubber can meet in the road. All of these decent, good fighters, and ain't nobody fighting each other. Instead, we're talking about Keith fighting God knows who, Jaron Boots Ennis fighting God knows who. Instead, we're talking about Terence Crawford fighting God knows who. We're talking about Shawn Porter wanting to be the Magic Mando, a mandatory in every sanctioning body, and don't want to fight Terence Crawford for real. I got a big ass wasp out front of my door. Come on, man. I'm going to my mirrors. Damn. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is, man. But either way you look at it, man, you know, I just want to see some rubber meat in the road, man. And it is what it is, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to get up out of here, fam. Let me get up out of here. Let me make sure I got everybody on the way out the door. These fighters want a serious purse premium to fight Crawford in the event of a loss. They want a retirement package. They want a retirement. They want a 401k just to fight Terence Crawford, man. It's insane. It's insanity in these boxing streets, fam. Insanity. Much love to y'all, man. I'm on my way out, man. But this video, once again, was supposed to be about Jaron Boots Ennis and who we got next. We did get that point across. For those who just coming in late, go back to the beginning of the video. As always with these live streams as of late, they always turn into a Terence Crawford back and forth thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's just all in fun, man. But Jaron Boots Ennis, I'm very impressed with him. Danny Garcia, Josecito Lopez, somebody, maybe an Adrian Bronner for popularity purposes. Those are some of the opponents that I think that can line up for Jaron Boots Ennis, and they should line up for Jaron Boots Ennis. And if they don't, then PBC is just dropping the ball. Real spill. Catch up with y'all real soon. Can't do we talking boxing later. That's why I really wanted to get on here and do this. I'm still in celebrative mode with my old lady. You know what I'm saying? So we having a good time out celebrating her birthday, man. So I catch up with y'all on We Talking Boxing on Thursday. I will come back and do Joe Smith and Vladslav. Joe Smith got a gift. Joe Smith got a gift. Joe Smith got a gift with a big red bow on top, fam. Joe Smith got a gift. You know what I'm saying? But we'll come back with the Joe Smith Vladslav talk. We'll come back with F.A. Ajagbe, right? We'll come back with some more of those fight talks, hopefully for a quick, spontaneous stream. Can't do We Talking Boxing later, fam. My apologies, but I did give y'all a heads up early on through the week. Much love to y'all. See y'all real soon. Thumbs up for me, man. A couple of y'all done took y'all thumbs up back from the homie, man. What y'all doing out here, man? Stop taking it that away. Y'all stop taking it that away. It's a beautiful day out here. Sun is shining and the birds are singing. You know what I'm saying? And just another day where, you know, hopefully Errol Spence Jr., you know, will come out and let it be known. And also, I got to admit this. I got to say this on the way out the door, fam. This announcement, where the hell is it? We'll talk more about it later. Oh, my main man on the way out the door, Stormy B-Man, the sensei is in the building. Good morning to you, Stormy. Salute to your family. You know what I'm saying? A little more for that pot. Salute. And salute to my main man, Stormy B-Man. You need to go check out the fam. Y'all, everybody always know Stormy B-Man is the man. Go check him out. He breaks it down intelligently. You know, he's going to give you history. He's going to give you every aspect of the fight game. And that's what I love about Stormy B-Man's channel. You know what I'm saying? All day. Much love to you all. I see y'all real soon. Enjoy y'all day out there, man. Don't take none of this personally. We just having a good time. You know what I'm saying? To the next video, y'all. Peace out.